Hello and welcome to another episode of Geek-Men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. I am Dustin, and I have with me two lovely people from Silverline. Folks, how you doing?
I'm great. How about you guys? How's everything going?
It's going, man.
Good.
It's going. Let's get in and talk about this awesome comic you got going on. And first of all, while I will do that, I'll hit this. If you click the link there, it'll take you to the Silverline Team Up page.
Oh, thank you.
I will present. And I'll do this. This is where that link will take you.
Yes.
And
Look at that. It's getting there.
Yeah,
we have 15 more days
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah, almost
Mhm.
there.
Oh yeah.
And dude, okay. So these covers are awesome, and the foil cover never is able to be done justice quite right. They do. You guys do these foil covers that are just so amazing, and I love it.
Well, I think Pete, when he drew it, I don't know if he was thinking that that we were going to do that particular one in metallic, metallic silver. But after Roberta colored it, I was like, Roland, that's got to be the one that we do. We usually do like 3 or 4, variants, and I'm like, dude, I said, Roland, you better make that one the metallic cover. And I am trying to find a video to send to you of how pretty it is. I'll find it. But oh, look, I found it.
Oh, good.
Okay, I'm gonna forward it to the group. There you go. Okay, there it is. I don't know if you can grab it from there, but I just forwarded you the
video
window. I'll do.
At least I hope that's what it is.
So,
we should have looked at it before we viewed it. I hope it's not a dirty picture. I don't know. We'll find out in a second.
That's it.
Well, that's the. There it is.
So look, it's so nice.
Yes.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah. And I think it's the way that Roberta got that fire in the background, that silver is shining right through it. It looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That's a gorgeous. Yeah, we pretty much do a metallic cover for every book, every Kickstarter, or every crowdfunder, and I really think it's not just because I inked it. I and it's my book. I think that's probably the best one so far. I think Pete really nailed it, and then Roberta's colors are just beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a real fun cover to do, by the way. So props to how that came through. So if you've gotten a chance to see any of the art for this issue, it is just really, it's gotten to the point where it has a real good flavor and a good mood of its own. I think it's really taken off.
Yeah. Let me share some of this with y'all. Share.
So I believe that you guys are going to have on a show later in the week. Next week.
Yeah, next week.
Have Roland, he's the writer, and then the penciler, Peter Clinton. He's our guy from over the pond. Isn't that what they call it? He's from England. So they'll talk a little more about their part, but I think, just don't tell them I said this, I think the inks and the colors is what makes the book so good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about that. Pencil and writing. You can leave the words out. Just look at the pretty pictures.
I just like the colors. But, I'm partial to it. So this was a blast of color. I mean, it's such a good mix with having Thomas and I work together like that. It's just like I feel like it's real intuitive, and I just have so much fun doing this. I hope that shows in the product.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roberta and I have worked together for a long time. We've done back when I was inking a bunch of the Ultraverse books back from Malibu, back in '90s.
Yeah, way back then.
Roberta was coloring a lot of that stuff back in the day, so she was kind of familiar with my style of inks.
Yeah.
So when Roland was telling me who was going to color it, I'm like, oh, this is going to be so good. Now, the weird thing about this one, we're seeing based off the cover, you'll see that the character on there is Miss Fury, but we've got that's not Champion. The guy that's on there, that's Demon,
right?
From
Good point.
He's been around for a little while. He's just making a guest appearance in this particular.
Yeah, well, his hand is on the cover at the bottom there. If you want to go look at the bottom corner of the page.
Well, that's one of the. Oh yeah, that's right. So if you go down further, see, like in the first issue, Champion is basically he's having some troubles. He's a fireman, and he's from Chicago. Isn't that how it goes? And he's being bothered by some bad guys, and so he decides to come to New Orleans.
Oh, that's a page, yeah. So
there you go. Yeah, there's
there he is. He was knocked cold.
In the first issue, Champion was knocked cold, and this is kind of before Fury and Champion actually get together, right? So
Fury hasn't met him before, so Fury has no idea who this guy is. She saw the fight, and she reels him up, and she's like, "Oh, what happened to him?"
She sees these two dudes beating up Champion, and and
she interferes
to help him out, and then Demon is just wandering around, and he's like, "Well, I want to see what's going on."
Yeah,
and so they're trying to like, this guy's getting beat up pretty good. As you can see, you can't. What happens is the two bad guys knock a water tower on top of him in the first issue, and so they don't quite know where he's at, but they don't realize that Demon and Fury lifted him up out of the rubble. So they're kind of clueless as to what's happened to them.
Right.
And that's kind of the sequences that you see there.
Yeah. But the point is they all got together in this issue. So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I think
Demon was a
one of my favorite
character.
panels is this panel that I love. That just with the moon behind him, it just looks so cool. It's just like, oh, that's cool.
Well, it was a really good drawing, and then after Roberta colored it, I'm like, you plussed it so much.
I know.
It's like, geez, we need to make a poster of that.
For sure.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah,
him with the moon
without the word balloons. We don't need Roland's talking all over everything. Get rid of all of that garbage. We don't need any of that. We just need the
I mean, even I think if it's just him and a call to arms would be a perfect T-shirt. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, Demon showed up way back in the '90s in a book called Cat and Mouse. He's a veterinarian, believe it or not. He's a big furry guy, so it's kind of funny. And I inked a bunch of those way back in the day, and he actually had his own little miniseries called Demon Tales.
Yeah.
Back in the '90s, that was published by Malibu, also way back in the day. But that's actually before the Ultraverse stuff started. Are you familiar with the Ultraverse books?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
In passing, I haven't.
Right. It's been a while. It's been a while.
It has.
But So he's been around for quite a long time, and now we've actually got the new version of Cat and Mouse going on. What Roland's doing with the Silverline books, but when all the books pretty much take place in New Orleans, so that's kind of where Roland and I actually are from, southern Mississippi. I'm from the Hattiesburg area of Mississippi. You don't need to know where it's at, but from USM. And I grew up in New Orleans, so it was all really cool for me that Roland wanted to do a bunch of books. Most of the books, not all the books, but most of the Silverline books are based in New Orleans.
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool. And Pete did a pretty good job at making it. Through Google, you could find all the reference you want, but he drew a lot of really good New Orleans stuff. Hold on just a second. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
it's all good.
I like the panel you picked for your background there, Thomas.
Oh yeah. Let's see. We can pick his nose.
So yeah, these characters all have their own lives, and I think it's a really good story, of how they come together and how they interact, and then what's happening to them, past their meetup and what's in their lives. So we're getting to know them quite a bit, and I think it's proving to be interesting for all of them.
I would say definitely. Just from the snippet that I've read so far, I was just like, okay, yeah, that's some serious stuff. Like, I think that would be very powerful if what happened in real life. So
yes, yeah,
for sure.
When I was telling Roberta this earlier, so when I was inking it, even though Roland and I are good buddies and stuff, and he didn't share the script with me, so I didn't really know what was going on. I was just inking it right now. So I had my own story going, and then when I read it, I'm like, oh, I see where you're going with the story now. And so he and Pete kept talking about the how it got dark at the end of this issue, and I'm like,
and you're like, huh?
This doesn't look dark. I don't know what you're talking about. This looks like, somebody got upset with his girlfriend or whatever. And that's not what the story was about.
Right.
Totally confused. And I read it. I'm like, oh, okay, I got it.
So I guess let's talk about the process so far, like behind it. Like, this all started from what? What was the first initial thing that you decided to do? Like, was it just you were all sitting around and we're like, okay, we're going to get these characters together. We're going to have a team up. Let's do this. Well, I know there were talks about it a long time ago, but
Roland will tell a much better story. But he did a miniseries back in the Malibu days of Miss Fury, the original Miss Fury. It was a licensed book in the day. Since then, she's become public domain. So this version of Miss Fury, because there's several other Miss Fury books that are out. I think Dynamite has one, and there's another couple. But this version, which I don't think
was it under Action or something like that.
I think
what was it?
He's going to explain it. And the thing is not the original Miss Fury. I think it's kind of a relative. I don't want to speak over what Roland's going to tell you when he comes on. But so
he knows.
Yeah. So it's Silverline has a bunch of different books going on, and we were trying to, I believe Roland was trying to get like a way to mix several characters together in like a big ongoing team up kind of book. Yeah. And he was like, well, who can we team up? And then he decided to do those two together. And then after, I think it was while I was inking the first issue, I was talking to Pete, and Roland wasn't involved in the conversation, and Pete was like, I really like Demon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, I'm going to tell Roland to put Demon in the book. And so
it's your fault.
that's my fault. So Roland, had to, and he was like, well, I got a great way to get Demon involved in the story. And then Pete's version of Demon is, Demon keeps getting bigger and bigger. Like when Mitch Bird drew Demon back in the Cat and Mouse days, back in the early 90s, he was just an average, regular sized guy. He still had the 3 tails, and he, still was furry like this, and he, still had the little head thing and all that kind of stuff. And then Paul Pelletier works for DC now. He kind of drew him in the Demon Tales book, kind of drew him a little bigger. All of a sudden he got, really muscular. And then when Pete started drawing him, he turned into the Hulk. He got really, and so he's really, which I think looks really good. I really like it. Yeah.
I think it helps. It offsets the small stature of Miss Fury, especially in that particular panel. It's just like he's this big hulking dude, and he's very striking and imposing, and he's just like, hey, what's up? I think you should take him to get checked
turns
out.
out to be a really nice guy that's a veterinarian.
Right.
So it's kind of fun.
It's very much like Marvel's Beast type character.
Yeah, it's a take. Roland won't admit to it, I don't think, but it's a version of Beast.
An inspiration, perhaps.
An inspiration. There you go.
Yeah. Well, it's nothing wrong with that.
No, not whatsoever.
Goodness. Every single one of my characters would have claws and batarangs, and
I know
could fly. It's just one of those things.
Yep, absolutely.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's what. Because as a kid, I was always drawn to Wolverine, and that was actually the first comic book I ever got. My mom brought me home a Wolverine comic, and on the back there was another thing. I wasn't interested in that. I was just interested in the Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, this is cool. So I started collecting some of those issues every time I would see them here and there. We didn't have like a comic book store readily available that we could go and blow our money on. So it was always
you're probably all ready for the Wolverine Deadpool movie.
Yes. Yeah.
I know it. They better not. I know they're doing reshoots right now and fixing a couple little things here and there. They better not mess it up. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I heard that the reshoots are mainly just to get sneak more cameos in and stuff. So it's
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, that's
like, all right, I'll allow that. Sneak all the cameos in.
Well, those trailers are that last trailer that was so funny. I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
They got my money. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, same.
They have it already.
They've already got my money.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's probably one. I haven't got to see a lot of movies in theaters, but I am pretty sure my wife likes Deadpool, and Wolverine is very special to me. So I'm pretty sure I'll be able to talk her into going to see it in theaters. But
and what Reynolds and Jackman or whatever, Hugh Jackman, right? Yeah. They're great actors. They're great. They're
so good.
Knock it out of the park. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. It's gonna be amazing.
The other two movies were nasty and dirty and funny, and it was fabulous. Love it.
Yeah.
Give me more of that.
We just reviewed both of them on the podcast recently, not too long ago, around Valentine's Day, actually, because it is technically a Valentine's Day movie.
I think they are. It seems like they're great Valentine's Day movies.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what we did. We reviewed both of those, and so that was fun and good time. I love those movies; they're so good. But anyway,
yes,
yeah. I don't even remember what we were talking about. The process, what is it like for? What's that?
Oh, I said back to the creation of it. I think having these 3 particular characters, they came, just kind of an idea, but they're very well fleshed out in the story. That Roland does such a great job integrating them into the storyline and having a real purpose for all of them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as you can see from that second issue, where the ending wasn't, so Roland's got
a surprise ending.
And I got more than just a couple of people fighting each other, which is what I would have wrote.
Yeah.
So he's actually got a real story going on in there. Yeah, all the stuff I write's just a little silly stuff, but and working with Pete, Pete's just give Pete a little more time and he's going to be a knockout. I mean, he's already fabulous, but this is some of his first stuff that he's done. He's a Kubert school graduate. And it's just gorgeous. The stuff that he's putting out. Yeah. It's beautiful. And then of course, Roberta and I,
So no slouches either.
Yeah. No, we know what we're doing.
Doing all right. But I think all three of us together, we get each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, I imagine so. I mean, do you guys like have just one big group chat where you're just like talking and jiving and stuff like that? Or is it like a weekly meeting that you have to, do this, that?
We have
we talk, but we kind of don't talk about the comic because we get it, I guess.
Yeah. Where we do a Sunday show. Silverline does there's actually 3 weekly shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the Sunday show, it just so happens it's got Roland, myself, Roberta, and Pete, if Pete wakes up. And and so we've been in, and I guess the plague, pandemic, whatever you want to call it. We started doing all these podcasts all the time, so we're all just talking, a couple of hours a week anyway, just doing the streams and stuff. So we, and it turns out really good that Roberta and Roland actually, they were at Malibu, so they worked in the same space.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 90s,
for a long time. Yeah,
way familiar. And like I said, I've been a buddy of Roland since I was 17, 18 or whatever. So I've known Roland for a long time. So we're all besides, been doing this just, it seems like forever. So
well, and I think it sounds fun. It's definitely something that I would like to do, but oh goodness, just the thought of it, it's very daunting.
Well, you said that you've worked you've got some ideas of your own characters and stuff. So have you put out anything of your own? Have you put a book together or not? Okay.
No, nothing like that.
Just thinking about it.
Yeah, I have an entire drawer full of ideas, but I don't know. It's just been one complication after another that's just sort of held me back. But yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be fun to do.
It really does make a lot of sense when you start looking at your ideas and starting to think about it. It will take its own shape,
Yeah.
Instead of just being small little hopes for the future. I think it's pretty easy to take it from that stage, take it seriously and say, I'm having fun with it, and then you'll end up with something, and you'll end up with an ability to take it out and see, what you can do.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it.
Well, it's like one of those things, like, I don't know. I don't even know like where to start sometimes. It's like, I don't know. It drives me crazy. But I forget what I was going to say.
Well, just be open to inspiration. I suppose that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, for sure.
And don't be afraid of it. Because I've honestly said that, I've regretted sitting on things before, and they do eventually time out where you don't like them anymore, where, like the time you had first started working on it, there's just this nugget that turns into a roller coaster that you can end up being so happy with it, even if it's a struggle. It's just the process of it. Just wakes you up.
I know that. I know that experience. It's one of those things like so I had a idea for a show and show, comic book, etc., like just the works, right? And then a few years later I sat on it, and I sat on it all through school. I mean, I think in just about every class I did something related to that show or that a premise of it in college and stuff. And teachers were liking it and whatnot, and but I still sat on it because I was still in school and all that. And then I started a magazine, and we were working on that stuff, and then it just all of a sudden Rick and Morty popped up, and it's just like it's just like, oh, that sort of makes my idea like not as good, or just less in some way.
It deflated your interest.
So it's like, oh man, that's pretty much like what I wanted to do, but oh well. So I definitely regret sitting on that idea, but I don't know.
It's fun to do.
You should still work on it. If you said you had a drawer full of ideas, find something else that you think that's unique, that you're happy with, and work on it. You should do it.
Yep. One of these days I will.
Oh, make it tomorrow.
I wish I could.
Yeah, one of the things I've learned, you
gotta just
whittle
start.
away at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's daunting if you think, oh, I'm gonna take it on, and then all of a sudden you got to focus, and day and night goes away. It doesn't have to be like that.
Well, it sounds like it sounds like you're more of you're talking about writing something is what I'm getting across, right? Are you talking about drawing and penciling and?
Yeah, I'm not an artist per se. Yeah. I'm very crude.
Well, work on some plots. Start just writing stuff out all and get and start breaking down an issue and stuff. Just so if it never gets made, but at least you're working on something. Yeah. Just a little exercise, if you want to call it anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. It's what I should be doing, especially in my post therapy and stuff like that. Like, but.
Well, I mean, you never know. It's books like this one, and then some of the cat and mouse stuff, and then some of the other. Every writer, anyway, I know has just got a book, full of ideas, and all of a sudden somebody's going to walk up, like I believe with this particular book, the Champ Miss Fury book, the penciler was looking for something to draw, and Roland looked at his stuff and was like, yeah, I'm going to find you something to draw. And he's like, well, so Roland looked through his book. He had like 3 or 4 ideas and told him to pick one, that kind of thing. So you never know. Somebody will walk up, that wants to work with you on something. And so you got to have something ready to go, so have a bunch of little stories written up, and then, he picks one and then flush it out, or not flush it out, flesh it out,
right,
and get started on it. So, but you got to have it at least written, some little plots written down to be able to show.
Yep. Yeah. I definitely have that.
I mean, they don't have to be full scripts, they don't have to be full, the full 20 pages broke down, this is what's happening. This is, it could just be a little, paragraph. Here's a story idea. Here's another story idea. Here's a different one. Because you may get a penciler that doesn't want to draw superhero stuff. He just wants to draw horror stuff. And unfortunately, you wrote a whole bunch of Batman kind of things. And it's like, well, I don't want to draw Batman. I want to draw, some Swamp Thing kind of something or another or something or whatever. So you got to,
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it would.
you got to come up with a bunch of stuff.
So, what is it that draws your attention to the book, like this particular book? What is it that you love to do and draw? Like, what brings you, what makes you happy that you're taking part in this book?
Go ahead, Roberta.
Okay, well, I'd say every part of it was interesting in its own. I'd say in the very beginning of it, the idea of Champion was good because I've seen Champion from Roland's work. Miss Fury I like because she's an inspirational character. She's interesting. She's got such a great look, and I was dying to work on her. So the second I saw that Demon was going to be a part of the second book, I was like, I'm so glad I'm doing this because look, this is even more fun.
Yeah.
I like the fur and the anger and the red eyes, and the shape of him is so interesting.
For sure.
So they're all unique and they're all interesting to me. So, and what happens to them being set in New Orleans is great. I like working in that setting. That's a really great backdrop for all kinds of really great night shots.
Well, all the settings that you've made by your color choices have really, grounded the whole thing. It's
cool.
Pretty.
Cool. Thank you.
It's pretty. I like it. Pretty. I had Roberta go first because I knew she was going to be truthful about the thing, about what she was going to say. Me, I've been doing this for a while, inking and stuff, and so I just want to make something that looks cool.
Yeah.
And so when I saw, Roberta knows the truth. She knows.
Yeah, it's true.
when Roland was, like I said, Roland and I are buddies and stuff, and he was like, well, I got something that you might want to ink, and I'm like, well, okay, let me see what it looks like. And then I saw Pete's pencils, and I'm like, I don't care what it is. This looks good. I'm gonna, because my job as an inker, besides making it, doing a good job inking, my job is to make it look cool. To take whatever the pencils are and try to try to make that line just sharp and stand out and look dynamic and ink it properly. Make the backgrounds look like they're supposed to, and make the foreground and make it give the perception that it's a 3D thing, even though it's flat piece of paper. You know. But for me, it's in this time of my life of doing comics, I just wanted to be cool. I want to have fun with it. I want you guys to check it out and look at it and go, wow, this is really cool looking.
Yeah.
I just wanted to look really, really cool. And then when I heard that Roberta was going to be colored, I'm like, yeah, I picked the right book. So
that's great.
Yeah. So for me, I wanted to look pretty. That's what I want.
Right.
Now I do my own stuff. I'm still doing my own creator-owned stuff, which I kind of do the same way. It's just I want it to look pretty. The stories are very shallow in the stuff that I write, but I just wanted to look. My job is to make the pencils look to scream, to jump off the page, to look dynamic. That's my job. So, yeah,
he does such a great job with that, and it's effortless. Sharp. It does. It looks sharp.
It really does. We did the first issue, and then between the first issue and second issue, we actually with Pete penciled the fourth issue of the Trump's book, and so. You can kind of see from this first issue to the third issue, there was a whole another issue worth of drawing in the middle. And I think that the pencils just went crazy. The first issue was great. It was gorgeous. But this third issue is just way, way stellar cooler than and I know he's working on the issue 3, and it's going to be
excited to see it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Any tidbits you can share that for upcoming issues, or
it's like I said, I don't. Roland doesn't tell me anything. I try not to. I mean, my as a comic creators, because I do co-own Kablam digital printing, so I print hundreds of books a week. I see so many comics all the time. I don't want to. Until the page gets to me, I don't want to know too much about it, what I'm working on, because I'm seeing comics all day long. And so sometimes I get a little bit too much comics in my head and I just don't want it. So yeah, so if Roland tells me what the story is ahead of time, I don't want to know. I just want to see the page, so I'll be surprised rather than seeing it too much, because I'll get burnt out if I see it too much. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, I can't imagine what it would be like to actually have that all at my fingertips, just all the power.
Yeah. But it's I think, like I said, I think between the first issue in this one, like I said, we did another book in the middle, a different book. And I think that the Pete's just getting better and better and better. Not that he's bad now. I mean, he's wonderful now. He could get some Marvel work if he wanted it. But he's just getting better and better and better. I mean, just look at that cover. That cover is so cool.
It really is. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think even the very first book was just, there's so much talent there. And when it got to the point where we saw the pencils and we saw like what could be done with it, there were so many different moods in that first book. Like, and they all worked. It's like it transitioned in because there are different characters involved. So he took, I was just blown away by his range when I saw the first pencils for this book. So
this is the first issue. Oh, my green screen is messing me up.
There it is.
Let's see. Let me try to get to where I can block it. There we go. So that's the first. Oh, look, it's screwy.
Yeah, you gotta just stand still.
And so I'll try to flip it open.
Starts with fire.
Yeah, so we'll get past. So there's a double page spread here that Roberta just killed with this fire going on in the background. So you can see this is Champion, and so they're still in Chicago at this point. Golly, my green screen is just messing this picture up bad, isn't it?
That's okay.
Yeah. But there's these two jokers here, these two guys here. That's actually the two guys that are wearing the powered suits that are in the that second issue. So they follow Champion to New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah, and but there's a page. Oh, here's another crazy fire scene. This is really good. Now, in the crowdfunding or the crowdfunder GoFundMe page, there is you can actually get the first issue too.
Yes,
but there's a panel here. This is my favorite panel of the whole book.
Yes,
my favorite page, just because
that's
of
what I meant by the mood.
I love this.
So noir.
It
so cool.
Yeah, I really wish I still had that page. That because I guess you can kind of see it there. Yeah, y'all have to buy it so you can see it better.
Right.
But, I tend to ink everything digitally except for a handful of pages now that we have available on the crowdfunding page, so that you can buy when you buy the books. If you want to buy some of the artwork, you may want to show all that kind of stuff. The crowdfunding, the Fund My Comic.
Yeah. Share.
There you go. So if you go all the way to the top, okay, I'm sorry. If you scroll down some, so there we've got if you'll go past the video, there's, okay, I like way past the video, where it says covers. Okay, so there's the 3 covers. If you scroll up a little bit, there you go.
Yeah,
so the first cover, so the Kickstarter, or not, I keep saying Kickstarter. We're not on Kickstarter.
The crowdfunder.
Yeah, the Fund My Comics is the full version, which is only available through this crowdsource through here. Once we finish with this campaign, then that won't be available anymore. So if you want to get the silver metallic cover, you can only get it through here. And then the other 2 covers are, one I did was the real cartoony kind of thing. And then we have the cover B is by Dean Zachary. And it's another one that
I love that one too.
I colored all 3.
Great.
And I inked all 3, but I drew the real cartoony one on the cover C.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, that's a fun cover. Yeah, I tend to, when I draw my own comics, I do real cartoony. I'm a real kid friendly kind of guy when I do my own stuff. I'm trying to get the young folks to buy books.
Yeah,
I'm really, when I do my own stuff, it's really cartoony. But of course, I do the regular mainstream stuff. And Roberta did a great job coloring that one too. She did a great job on all of those. But then, so we got a bunch of different levels. You can buy you can get in on just the cover A, the metallic cover, or there's some pledges here where you can do like the issue 1 and issue 2, the new one.
Yeah.
And so there's a bunch of the pages. We're also, there's Pete. You'll see Pete later on next week. We're doing commissions. So Pete, when he'll do his commissions, he's going to do just the regular, it's not regular. He'll do your traditional art, but I'm going to do more of you see the little kid hero-y kind of things that I'm doing. I'm more of cartoony stuff. And you can get some of those if you want, whatever it is that you want. And then we have, I believe, a bunch of the pages. Pete pretty much penciled everything on paper. And so all of the original pencils are available for purchase if anybody wants to grab one of those, if they want some original art. I inked a bunch of stuff. Most of, like what I was telling you earlier, I do a lot of it, most of it, probably 90% of it digitally. But I do for the crowdfunding, I do a bunch of it on paper. So that way, traditional inks, they're 11 by 17. So you can actually get the page. You've seen pages at comic shows and stuff. It's the full, by 17 artboard pages. Well, there's old Roland and Pete. You'll see them later on in the week.
Yep.
Make fun of Roland. Make fun of Pete when he's on here. And then you can see on the right hand side is a bunch of the pages that are still available. A lot of it, the bunch of it's gone, but there's still some.
Yeah.
Available. Some of the covers are still available. We've got pages from the first issue that are still available. But there's one that's gone. I didn't know that one. Yeah. Several of them are gone. Oh, look, here's the inks for this first issue is still available. That's nice. So if somebody wants to grab that, jump on there and get it. It's on paper. It's full. It's the inks, the full inks. Traditionally inked. It's not a print of the digital inks. It's actually paper. I inked that one on paper on the Bristol.
It looks so cool. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's some more gone. I didn't realize some were gone. Oh, I guess apparently Dean's page is still available. The way it usually works is because we're all live in different areas. So whenever Pete will pencil a page, he'll scan it and then send it to me. And then I'll either ink it just straight digital in my iPad. I ink everything on an iPad. And then or if it's if I'm going to do it on paper, I'll print it. I'll blue line print it to a piece of paper. Basically I'll print it out and then I'll just ink straight over that.
Okay.
So that way the pencils, you still have the opportunity to buy the pencils and the inks. Most of the time up until just very recent, the pencils were sent to the inker, and the inker would ink over the pencils, the lead, and then erase all of the pencil marks and just leave the. So now that you can actually you can have the actual pencils, so then we're not erasing the pencils anymore. So
nice.
But
it's a cool way to work.
Yep. And then once we get it all, if it's already inked digitally, I just send them over to Roberta and she colors them. What are you coloring in nowadays?
So still Photoshop. Yeah. I enjoy using Photoshop the best because
Photoshop's great.
Quicker at it, and it's very versatile. I can move it from one computer to the other where like I have subscription issues with Clip Studio.
Yep. I use Clip Studio because the version of Photoshop on the iPad really sucks.
Yeah.
So, and Clip Studio is a really good application to do.
It is good. Mm-hmm.
So I do everything pretty much in Clip. What did they used to call it? Manga Studios, right? Back in the day, and they changed it to Clip Art Studio, I think it's called.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much what I do, everything on the iPad.
But I think once I get it turned in, you can tell me the process and you print it.
Yeah, and then once she gets it done, then Roland will get it over to the letterer, and they'll letter it up, and then it's time to go to put my printer hat on, and then we'll print it up.
Nice.
So if you can share any of the pages that I put on the the art that I give, you can see I have absolutely no idea what they're saying. It's just art, So like the panels don't have the letters on it. So I'm
you're talking about these, right?
Yeah, those. Yeah, so like basically, I'll get the inks and I'll come up with, kind of a theme for each scene so that the backgrounds are unified and direction and whatever. And I have these ideas of what the action is. And then sometimes it's interesting when I finally get the words on it. You'll see like there's a little subplot going on.
Yeah. You used to be able to flip through, but can't. So I'm going to do this. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get a message pop up here in a second of something dirty that you'll have to remove from the screen. It says we're seeing your face. Be careful, cover it up. Yeah, it's like
that's always the danger on my computer.
She's coloring, but you got to see the script, right? So you knew what was going on.
Yeah, but the script isn't actually the words. It's just the script that I get is a overall for the action, to describe the action on the page.
Yeah, it's like
sometimes the other little details like time of day and like focus and that sort of. But
yeah, when a couple of days ago when Roland finished getting it lettered, he sent it to all of us to proofread and stuff, and I'm reading and I'm like, when I got to the end, I'm like, that's what the story is. I had no clue. I'm just drawing it. I just are inking, and Roberta, I guess by the script, you kind of knew what was going on a little bit.
Yeah. It gave me
I was just inking it. I thought it was more of a breakup or something. That's the reason why the guy was upset. And I'm like, oh, you just
Well,
broke
sure
up.
looks like it.
And I don't care. I'm just thinking it. I don't know what's going on. I would have made him more crying if I knew what was going on.
Right, right.
Yeah, I would have. Can we redo that last page? I need to add more to it.
No, it's pretty good.
No, the last page is beautiful.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want necessarily for him to be full on sobbing, but I could see that, there was a rage inside. So yeah. I could tell.
The anger was clear, which was
good. Makes you by the dialogue, you can see what's fixing to happen in the next issue, right? What's he's going to be going around and going to take care of some business is what it seems like. I just thought he was mad at his girlfriend. I didn't have a clue. I didn't know what was going on. So big surprise for me. So and I inked the darn thing, and I didn't know what was going on. What do I know?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I like that partial knowledge because it keeps it interesting too. To have that last layer of dialogue show up after we're done with it, then that gives us something extra to be interested by the work that we just did. So
I should
unique quality.
I probably should ask a little more because back in the 90s when I was inking Nightman for Malibu for the Ultraverse books, the first or second issue there was a couple of scenes that I inked the backgrounds wrong because it was supposed to be night with some things going on, and I didn't get that from the pencils, and I inked it, and I got in trouble. I didn't get in trouble, but I got talked to.
Had to redo it.
Yeah, I had to go back and no, I think they fixed them there in the office. Y'all had to do some stuff to them because I just didn't get what the penciler was putting down because I didn't know what the story was. And so at that point, I had that was Steve Englehart. I had him send me the scripts. So I could read the script to the page so I knew what was going on because sometimes the penciler, will there might be some dialogue, like in this case, right? With this issue, he said just draw a champion upset, right? Basically, we don't want to give away the ending,
right?
And I didn't know what was going on. It's but I think it was a night scene or something in that book. It's supposed to be dark and
it was snowing, snowstorm.
Yeah, and I didn't ink anything. They're like,
don't worry, I put the snow in there.
Yeah, you put the snow. Yeah,
I did.
So I guess I should. That's my fault. I'll know better now.
Oh yeah. See, I'm conflicted about that. Like, I feel like I don't know. I feel like you should be in the loop a little bit, but at the same, I understand what you're saying. Like, it adds another layer that intrigues you about your own work.
I think that's
at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. I want you to know from the get-go because I want you to be invested in what's happening. Right.
Maybe being the inker, maybe I'm the that need to know because the penciler needs to know what's going on. The colorer needs to know what the mood is, so whoever she is can color it correctly. I'm just making it look cool, so I don't need to know.
Yeah, I think the real point is that if the penciler knows as much as he can, then the penciler has all the information down on the page that anyone needs to know.
Oh no, it perfect sense.
That's the whole point of it. Yeah,
it made perfect sense when I'm reading through it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is not the story I had in my head, but this makes perfect sense. This is great.
Yeah,
I love this. This is good. This is different stuff. So I got two stories out of it. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. I don't know. That's definitely cool. I'm weird though because I don't know. That's just not how I operate. But I don't know anything about that side of the business, so it's just like I only learned what I know from like Roland in class when I was in class for his comic book.
So you went to Full Sail?
I did.
You took
I didn't realize
a course
that.
from him.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like I got all that info, but
it's a rare treat. Yeah,
it is.
Well,
it is.
You took all of his creative writing classes and stuff. That's really good. That's cool.
Yeah, I did all that.
How back? When was this?
I don't know.
It's been a moon or two.
It's been a minute. Plus, I had
enough for you to move back to Ohio
and seizures. So I had all that stuff going on. So it's hard for me to remember like exactly the year.
Okay, I didn't mean to go.
Yeah, sorry, put you on the spot there.
Oh no, it's fine. I take for granted of some people know about that because of they have followed my journey. So I neglect to remember that and keep that in mind.
Retell the story.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yep.
But anyway.
So in terms of what you learn from the class, I think, there's very few classes like that out there. Sure. So I think it's a real treat that you have that.
Yeah,
it's a unique approach. It's different than writing for a TV show. It's different than writing, for a book. And it's all it's all aimed towards telling the story in a much more succinct way.
Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely something that's tickled my fancy, so to speak. I enjoyed that class and that info that I got. So it's something that I'm definitely planning on doing in the future at some point.
Great.
Like I said, start soon.
Yes.
But
I'm glad that I ended up with the team that I have here, because I feel like it works real easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm real excited to have people see the second book, because it's so much more than the first one, and the story's going somewhere. So I think people will really like it.
Yeah, it looks very exciting, and like I said, I read the issue, and I was just like, "Oh, this is really cool."
Yeah,
I'm definitely interested in this. So
great.
We just need to get the people over to the crowdfunded page and order some more copies. Order more copies. Get you some original art while you're over there.
Absolutely. Go to that link and you'll be here.
SilverlineComicsCrowdfunder.com. And you could, there's plenty of artwork still available. That gorgeous, and I keep saying it's the colors that makes it, but that gorgeous metallic cover is pick that up, because this will be the only place that you can get it, because like once this is over with, we're not going to print anymore.
Right.
So I mean, if there's only 30 of them, then that's it. There's only going to be 30 of them. We'll probably print a couple extra for each of us, but that's it. It's not going to be available again.
Right.
So you're gonna it'll be done. I believe the cover itself will still be available, because this eventually is going to run in the Diamond catalog.
Right.
So it's going to show up in the in the retail stores at the comic shops that will have that same cover, but it won't be the metallic cover. It'll just be the plain old color, the plain old paper, but it still looks gorgeous that way too.
Yeah.
But
yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of different options there. If you see the different tiers.
Yeah.
Depending on what you want. If you want digital only, you can have that.
Yep. Digital only. You can do
just the foil cover.
Yep. And you have options of picking covers and
look at that. We got since we started, we already got somebody picked up something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're at 94% now. Woohoo!
Oh,
Nice.
that's awesome.
Whoever
Okay.
jumped up there and grabbed something, we appreciate it. Thank you, thank you.
Where's my tab? There it is. All right, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is cool. That's fun watching the numbers go.
That's exciting.
Ching, 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 ching. Going up.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, thank you for having us on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just so thankful for your time and generosity, and it's fun to talk comics with you guys. I always try to jump in on your other streams. It's always at a bad time for me, but
well, thank you for trying
I
to
sleep
do
weird
that.
hours, so
well, that's cool. So when you get what you can do is when you get both Roland and Pete on there. So Roland's still got a little bit of his country draw. I hope he's not listening tonight. And then keep going. What do you say? Because Roland, because you went to his that. So keep going. What? And then of course Pete's gonna have his British accent. Keep going. I don't understand. What are you guys saying? Keep making.
I can just talk like this, and I'll be like, all right, whatever.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that helps.
Absolutely, absolutely. Y'all have a good time. And Pete and both of them, Pete can go into a little more about his, how he tackles pages, and of course, Roland will go into a lot more of the story than what we did. But that'll be excellent. What day are they coming on?
Next Friday.
Next Friday. Woohoo! Very cool. Yeah, because that'll go into the weekend, which we will have another week after that worth of Kickstarter. Or I keep saying Kickstarter. It's not Kickstarter.
It's not.
It's Fund My Comics. Yeah.
Fund My Comics.
Fund My Comics, not Go Fund My Comics. It's Fund My Comics. I'll get it right eventually.
Hey,
doing Kickstarters forever. I can't.
We mean what you know.
Crowdfunder.
All that.
When you do the crowdfunder, how about if I just say crowdfunding? There you go. I can remember that. But very cool. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I will play this if I can find it wherever it went. This is the crowdfunder video for the show, and I'll just wrap that up with that, and you'll get a taste of this. And
there's a cool cut.
Yeah,
you can't see it. What stupid green screen.
All right, so go buy the comic.
Yes, please. We appreciate it.
Check it out, please.
Thank you.
Yeah. Until next time.